projects, and this has subsisted up to now. What is the impact of this? No, it has served to support colonial crops in the Philippines, greatly disrupting local knowledge and creating enduring social and environmental hazards for the country. Fragmentation of rivers as well. We see that in China with the Three Gorges Dam, perhaps here in Brazil, rather in Bangladesh as well, and many parts of Latin America where a lot of mega dams are fragmenting rivers. Next slide, please. This is a photograph of Makliting Tulak because it was really the struggle for the free flowing of a river that galvanized indigenous peoples' movement in the Philippines back in the 1970s. This was the senior Marcos that wanted to put up a mega dam, the Chico Dam, in the Philippines. This was supported by the World Bank project. The indigenous peoples at that time, led by Makliting Tulak of the Budbud tribe, came together to protest the construction of the river. And many other indigenous peoples in the country, realizing that their ancestral domains, ancestral waters were at risk of being fragmented because of the dams, came together in solidarity. And this would be the first time that in the Philippines, a kind of indigenous peoples movement was started. Next slide, please. Makliting Tulak was initially successful in stopping the construction of the Chico Dam. However, as you see from all these news clippings, the same dam project is being instituted now. It's being reframed from a simple energy dam into a multi-use dam. It's also divided communities because it's become a multi-use dam, which is also now used for irrigation. So now you have farmers being pitted against indigenous peoples, and you have a very successful narrative of dividing communities as to who actually gets use of the river. There's also the contest of people in the urban areas because we need our energy to power the cities. And we're also contesting the use of the river. And so here you have that veterans of the Chico River Dam joining the struggle of their grandchildren. So more than 50 years hence, the struggle continues. And the risk continues as well, with dam projects at risk of swallowing sacred grounds of Cordillera peoples. Next slide, please. We see here the protests of peoples, and the protagonist, antagonist in the story changes. First it was the World Bank, now the Chinese are coming in the Philippines. Our National Grid Corporation, that has great control over many of our rivers and dams, are actually taking control of our National Grid Corporation. That's an operation of around, I think, 40% of it is supposed to be owned by the Chinese now. So there's a great question as well of sovereignty, and particularly of energy sovereignty. Next slide, please. This is another protest, that I just wanted to show you the fervent protest movement in the Philippines, the struggle for control over the river. Next slide. And next slide. This is also actually a report of our failure. The law is a legal text. It is an advocacy platform that our organization uses. We are unfortunately not always successful, as you can see here. In repeating the struggles, the continuing struggles, you have a Philippine tribe that defeated a dam before, now again prepares to fight its reincarnation. And upon its reincarnation, I hope it's okay that I continue in the dark. We had actually thought of filing a case to look at the contracts and how it violated indigenous people's rights to free, prior, and informed consent, because their consent was not taken for the construction of the dam. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court decided not in favor of the indigenous peoples and thought that the loan agreement in favor of the Chinese and the Philippine government was legal. Next slide, please. Such a struggle in the Philippines can result in mortal danger and the loss of lives. And here, with the Friends of the Earth Asia Pacific, we actually came for a solidarity statement because another group of indigenous peoples in the central part of the Philippines, the Tumandok indigenous peoples, had protested a dam. This one was financed by the Korean bank. And in protesting against this dam, they were tagged as insurgents, as terrorists, and so the military was sent and caused the massacre. A few years hence, it was the president himself that inaugurated the construction of this dam. Next slide, please. Climate change has, of course, as stated earlier, exacerbated the conditions of rivers. On the other hand, we can take it as nature's wrath. No? In the Philippines, there's a lot of logging going on. So this is Sendo. I forget its international name. This happened in my hometown. No? We are a people not used to floods in Mindanao. I grew up not knowing about floods. I grew up not knowing so much about typhoons. And 10 years ago in the night, this typhoon came in and took 1,000 of our people. And this is it. I didn't want to show you bodies, and some of the bodies have not yet been recovered. This was a perfect catastrophe, so to speak. Next slide, please. And so I guess it invites us into a reflection of how we've reconfigured our rivers, how we redefined it in a way we force a metamorphosis of the river, no? From something that sustains, nourishes us, builds culture into something that we have controlled, we have exploited, we have modified. From sacred flow to H2O, it's also this epistemic changing of what a river is. And in a way, we've instigated an epistemic violence against the river itself. It's become quantifiable, it's this abstracted resource for the market, divorced from its cultural meaning as sacred site. Again,